The sun-kissed cafe. Emily had always been drawn to the quaint little cafe on the corner of Main Street. She loved the way the sunlight streaming through the windows highlighted the intricate tile work on the floor, and the aroma of freshly baked pastries wafting out onto the sidewalk made her mouth water. As she pushed open the door, a bell above it rang out, announcing her arrival to the cozy atmosphere within. The cafe was bustling with activity, but Emily didn't mind. She slipped into a corner table by the window and pulled out her laptop, intent on getting some work done while enjoying a warm cup of coffee. Just as she was about to settle in, a tall, dark-haired stranger caught her eye. He had walked into the cafe a few minutes earlier, his eyes scanning the room before landing on Emily with an unmistakable spark of interest. She felt it like a jolt of electricity. Her heart skipped a beat and her skin tingled. Emily couldn't help but sneak glances at the handsome stranger as he ordered a coffee and sat down at a table near hers. He was dressed in worn jeans and a faded black t-shirt, his feet clad in scuffed-up sneakers that looked like they'd been through some kind of adventure. There was something ruggedly appealing about him, something that made Emily's imagination run wild. As the morning wore on, Emily found herself stealing glances at the stranger more frequently than she intended to get work done. She couldn't help but notice the way his eyes crinkled at the corners when he smiled, or the way his dark hair curled slightly at the nape of his neck. And yet, despite her growing fascination with him, Emily remained oblivious to the fact that the stranger was watching her just as intently. It wasn't until the cafe started to quiet down in the late morning that the stranger got up and walked over to Emily's table. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, his deep voice sending shivers down Emily's spine. Emily shook her head, feeling a flutter in her chest. "Not at all," she replied, trying to sound calm despite the butterflies in her stomach. The stranger pulled out the chair across from Emily and sat down, his eyes locking onto hers with an unmistakable spark of attraction. For a moment, they simply stared at each other, the air thickening with tension as they both seemed to hold their breaths. "Thanks for letting me join you," he said finally, breaking the silence. "I'm Max." "I'm Emily," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. As they started chatting, Emily learned that Max was a travel writer, currently working on his first book about the hidden gems of small-town America. He had stumbled upon the cafe while exploring the town and had been drawn in by its warm atmosphere and delicious pastries. Emily found herself opening up to Max in ways she hadn't expected. They talked about everything from their favorite books and movies to their childhood memories and deepest fears. And as they laughed and joked, Emily couldn't help but feel a sense of connection with this stranger that she had never experienced before. As the afternoon wore on, the cafe started to fill up again with the lunch crowd. Max and Emily exchanged numbers, promising to meet up for dinner later that evening at the same cafe where they first met. Over dinner, they discovered even more common ground: a love of adventure, a passion for exploring new places, and a deep appreciation for the simple things in life. As the night wore on, they found themselves lost in conversation, their eyes locked onto each other's with an undeniable spark of attraction. From that moment on, Emily and Max were inseparable. They spent their days exploring the town, holding hands as they strolled along the riverbank or sampled local cuisine at the farmer's market. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, they'd find themselves back at the cafe, sipping coffee and watching the stars twinkle to life above. As the weeks turned into months, Emily realized that she had fallen deeply in love with Max. He was her partner in every sense of the word, her best friend, her confidant, and her soulmate. And as they sat together on the couch one evening, holding hands and watching their favorite movie, Emily knew that she had found something special. She leaned over and kissed Max, feeling his lips respond with a warmth that left her breathless. "You're my everything," he whispered into her ear, his voice husky with emotion. "I love you too," Emily replied, her heart overflowing with joy. As they sealed their love with a kiss, the world outside receded into the background. All that mattered was the spark of attraction that had ignited between them, the flame of passion that would burn brightly for years to come.